2018 BMW 3 Series Saloon Review. The good points of BMW 3 Series Saloon: engaging handling no matter what engine. Comfort isn't spared for agility. Generous equipment levels. Performance, efficiency balance. The bad points of BMW 3 Series Saloon: interior doesn't feel as premium as some rivals. Ride might be unsettled without adaptive dampers. Cabin isn't the roomiest with this segment. Wide choice of expensive options. For 6 generations, the BMW 3 Series Saloon has dominated the compact executive car market. Subscribe to watch regarding the all-new 2019 BMW 3 Series Saloon. Find BMW 3 Series cars available for purchase on. It's the saloon that rival manufacturers benchmark against, regarding desirability, drivability and quality, among a great many other facets. And while some match or perhaps surpass the BMW in some areas, it remains for the pinnacle of excellence with this segment. Should you disregard the alternatives within the shapes from the Audi A4 Saloon, Jaguar X, Lexus and Mercedes-Benz C-Class to but a few? Not at all. Even so, the likelihood is you'll go back to a few series due to the all-round abilities. There's not simply the Saloon, either, using the ever-popular estate-bodied 3 Series Touring vying within the practicality stakes alongside the hatchback-bodied 3 Series Gran Turismo. Plus, should you're searching for something more light and slinky, add muscles closely related to 2-door 4 Series Coupe and Convertible. The replacements for previous generations of 3 Series Coupe and Convertible can be bought alongside the 5-door 4 Series Gran Coupe. BMW 3 Series price causes it to be popular with private and business customers. Not only would be the BMW 3 Series Saloon understandably high in wish list for most private buyers, it's a sought-after company car. Why? Well, an advanced business in search of a good motorway cruiser using a premium badge, excellent fuel economy and pin-sharp handling, then your 5 diesel models especially prove to get great all-rounders. Choose the fuel miserly ways in the 320d efficient dynamics and claimed diesel consumption is quoted at 72.4 miles per gallon. BMW 330e Review boasts surprisingly low running costs. It's not the most beneficial of 3 Series, though, that honor goes for the plug-in petrol-electric hybrid 330e, quoted at 148.7 miles per gallon. The real-world figure, especially far from urban environments, won't be that astonishing in case you drive it just like an equivalent diesel model. Nevertheless, its handling is just as impressive as other 3 Series derivatives and it's really capable of running on electricity alone for 25 miles. The low CO2 figure of 44 grams/km is music on the ears of company car drivers who value such agreeable benefit-in-kind tax levels. Petrol for enthusiasts. BMW hasn't forgotten enthusiasts who prefer the purity of petrol engines, with 4 inside the main lineup in the humble 318i for the boisterous 340i. These are supposed to become well liked as diesel is lost of favor. Most designs have rear-wheel drive, but also for those searching out the security of all-wheel drive, then BMW 3 Series X-Drive versions are worth hunting out. BMW M3 incorporates a legacy to call home up to. Topping the series lineup in the price and satisfaction terms will be the latest BMW M3 Saloon, bearing a badge that's become fabled in motoring enthusiast circles within the last 3 decades. Turbocharging the M3's 6-cylinder 3.0-litre engine has liberated 431 horsepower, elevated to 450 horsepower should you plump for that sharper BMW M3 competition package. Choose the latter with all the M double-clutch transmission, a gearbox that behaves to be an automatic, to have an impressive 4.0 second 0 to 62 miles per hour time. BMW 3 Series specs and quality. In events of yore, premium German saloons were sparsely equipped, the argument being which you were paying instead with the engineering excellence, While that could have been true, it won't wash with contemporary tech-savvy buyers, so whether you opt with an say, Sport, M Sport or M Sport Shadow Edition 3 Series Saloon, you'll find it bristling with equipment including LED lights back and front, dual-zone climate control and sat-nav. Where the series starts to show its age, this sixth iteration premiered in 2012, has been its interior and tech. There's no doubting it's well assembled, plus the technology still feels current, but rivals have upped the ante regarding quality. Step in a 3 Series having spent time in an Audi A4 and you'd be forgiven for assuming there is a £10,000 price differential. BMW electrical fault recall in 2018. In May 2018 there seemed to be publicity inside the mainstream media after a BBC watchdog investigation with regards to a recall affecting 312,000 BMWs inside UK brought on by an electrical fault which could cause some cars to chop out and stall as they definitely were being driven, or perhaps catch fire. It specifically works with BMWs built between March 2007 and August 2011. It may affect the previous generations of 3 Series Saloon and 3 Series Touring, in addition to the sportier 3 Series Coupe and 3 Series Convertible lineups. The verdict: sharp-suited looks, dynamics honed to prioritize driving pleasure over outright comfort, plus a broad selection of powertrains geared to those aiming to maximize efficiency or speed. Other compact executives tend to be spacious, some feel more luxurious, and some are even faster. But none of those is a BMW 3 Series Saloon. BMW 3 Series Saloon Review. Efficient and fast diesel range. Broad variety of petrols, 2. Rapid M3 features a legacy to reside up to. Few cars on discount sales have an engine lineup as broad as being the selection available for that BMW 3 Series Saloon, and although it can appear quite daunting, the premise is there's a model to suit your needs, whether you're prioritizing performance or efficiency. Economical 3 Series Saloon diesels. Despite all of the bootleg badges, you will discover only 2 basic diesel engines inside 3 Series range, albeit with some other power and torque outputs. Rarely perform the numbers correspond with engine capacities because they did in years gone by. Case in point could be the entry-level 316D, powered using a 4-cylinder, turbocharged 2.0-litre motor producing just 116 horsepower, but a far more useful 270 Nm of torque at only 1,250 revolutions per minute, which makes it a flexible unit. A 6-speed manual gearbox is standard, with the 8-speed automatic suggested, both directing drive to your rear wheels. A top speed of 125 miles per hour is usual to both, although at 10.6 seconds, the auto's a tenth of your second quicker compared to the manual from the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint. The same engines cranked approximately 150 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque at 1,500 revolutions per minute inside the 318D, while using same gearbox options as before. Performance is a lot more agreeable. Both transmission types will reach 134 miles per hour and again the automatic's quicker 0 to 62 miles per hour, 8.4 seconds versus the manual's 8.6 second time. Most fuel efficient from the diesel range could be the 320D Efficient Dynamics, which has a 163 horsepower addition on the 2.0-litre engine, producing 400 Nm of torque at 1,750 revolutions per minute. Despite its economy focus, it's pleasingly quick, with both manual and automatic versions reaching 143 miles per hour, with 0 to 62 miles per hour times during 7.9 and 7.8 seconds, respectively. The regular 320D has all the more grunt, with 190 horsepower, albeit together with the same torque figure since the ED, but rapidly increase its not significantly quicker. 0-62 mob points in the 7.3 seconds, manual, and 7.2 seconds, auto, complement the 146 miles per hour top speed. All-wheel drive may also be added to both transmissions within the guise on the 320D X-Drive, although there's a compact drop in performance as a result. Both have a high speed of 145 miles per hour, using the manual's 7.4-second 0 to 62 miles per hour time being 0.1 seconds slower compared to automatic. Automatic may be the only transmission situated on the 330D, the first with the diesels having a 6-cylinder, 3.0-litre engine. With power amped around 258 horsepower with 560 Nm of torque on tap from 1,500 revolutions per minute, it's a fast saloon. Top speed is electronically governed to 155 miles per hour, having a 0 to 62 miles per hour use of 5.6 seconds. Additional traction about the 330DX drive, also automatic, shaves the 0 to 62 miles per hour time into 5.3 seconds, although it's not the quickest diesel 3 Series. That honor belongs towards the 335DX drive, still automatic only, yet still running these 0.0-litre diesel, although here it makes 313 horsepower and 630 Nm of torque at 1,500 revolutions per minute. It's still capped to 155 miles per hour all out. However, its 4.8 seconds 0 to 62 miles per hour ensures it's only beaten in acceleration terms through the M3. Performance-focused 3 Series saloon petrols. The unusual sound emanating through the 318i is the characterful thrum of your 3-cylinder engine, in this particular case exactly the same turbocharged 1.5-litre unit obtained in various Mini Coopers. At 136 horsepower along with 220 Nm of torque at 1,250 revolutions per minute, its output is fairly modest, but as with most in the range, manual and automatic transmissions are safe to offer. Both have a high speed of 130 miles per hour, the manual's 8.9 second 0 to 62 miles per hour time trumping the automatic's 9.1 second time. A 4-cylinder 2.0-litre powerplants within the bonnet with the 320i, producing 184 horsepower and 270 Nm of torque at 1,350 revolutions per minute. It's surprisingly pacey given its lowly ranking inside the hierarchy, which has a 146 miles per hour top speed and 0 to 62 miles per hour points during the 7.2 and 7.3 seconds for that manual and automatic, respectively. All-wheel drive security is available from the form on the otherwise mechanically similar 320iX drive, but there's a compact reduction to use performance. Top speed dips to 144 miles per hour, with 0 to 62 miles per hour times for both transmissions increasing by 0.3 seconds. Despite its 330i badging, both the 0.0-litre engine also features here, with outputs elevated to 252 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque at 1,450 revolutions per minute. Top speed is governed towards the familiar 155 miles per hour ceiling with both gearbox types, but at 5.8 seconds the automatic's a tenth of a second quicker versus the manual inside the 0 to 62 miles per hour dash. There is often a 6-cylinder, 3.0-litre petrol engine from the 340i, though, with 326 horsepower being offered and torque peaking at 450 Nm at 1,380 revolutions per minute. Top speed remains at 155 miles per hour, though the 0 to 62 miles per hour time is paired to 5.1 seconds for your automatic, 5.2 for your manual. Urban frugality with the plug-in hybrid. The suffix in the 330e identifies electricity, signifying that this would be the petrol-electric plug-in hybrid with the 3 Series range. A mechanical gearbox could be the sole choice here. That familiar 2.0-litre engine features again, paired up by having an electric motor giving a theoretical zero-emissions variety of 25 miles. But, from the performance perspective, a combined creation of 252 horsepower and 420 Nm of torque means it's no slouch. Top speed is 140 miles per hour, using a 6.1 second 0 to 62 miles per hour time. Performance flagship, the BMW M3. Packing a 431 horsepower may be the latest iteration with the M3, solely available being a 4-door saloon provided that the coupe and convertible versions are badged M4. Nestled inside the engine bay can be a 6-cylinder 3.0-litre unit, completely different from that inside 340i, having a pair of turbos. Turbocharged engines are infamous for lag lower down within the rev range, the spot that the performance is fairly ordinary till the spools in the forced induction system start working. Not out of your tender. Its set of small, lighter-weight turbos employ a short inlet tract and intensely effective cooling on the air that's passing through them. In short, more torque can be obtained at lower engine speeds, with 550 Nm itching being deployed for the rear wheels from just 1,850 revolutions per minute. It's not peaky in their delivery either. The rev count is needle arcing smoothly to a number exceeding 5,500 revolutions per minute without the need of tangible fall-off in performance. There's the merest of breathers on each gear change, ahead of the revs rapidly rise again, demanding the subsequent ratio be selected. Floor the M3's throttle at any speed, and it also seemingly incorporates a deluge of torque to be had, making overtaking maneuvers particularly safe and effective. In the M3's upper echelons of revs, there's an angrier growl on the exhaust, amplified with the cabin speakers. Poodle out at lower speeds and you're associated with an orchestra of snarling pops and crackles. The cover in the M3's subtle looks is blown apart by its soundtrack. Two gearbox choices are safe to offer. A 6-speed manual or even a 7-speed MDCT dual-clutch gearbox can be an engineering marvel that maximizes the car's performance and efficiency. It's almost as smooth to be a regular automatic transmission when you'd like it being, but switch between its 3 settings and you have a much more brutal mode, one by having an engaging kick inside the back of your seat while you blip over the gears using the throttle available. The MDCT's the quicker, 4.1 seconds 0 to 62 miles per hour, versus the manual's 4.3 second time. Top speed is again tied to 155 miles per hour, and if that's not sufficient, there's the M3 Competition Pack, which has a power hike to 450 horsepower, although torque remains the identical. This M3's focused, with stiffer, sharpened responses to correspond, which consists of 0 to 62 miles per hour points in the 4.0 seconds, MDCT, and 4.2 seconds, manual. One from the most agile cars of any type available for sale. Steering is delightfully communicative. M3 a tad sanitized with electronics fired up. For many compact executive car buyers, and rival manufacturers, the handling benchmark within this class will be the BMW 3 Series Saloon. This 6th generation model includes a legacy to call home up to. Even its predecessor was considered being the segment's best car dynamically due to its entire production run. Cementing its place in the head with the handling pack, this 3 Series iteration has stiffer underpinnings and bodywork than its predecessor, despite being longer overall. Crucially, its predominantly rear-wheel drive arrangement allows to the front wheels for being pushed out for the edges with the nose in the car for greater agility. This helps to make the BMW a class act. The steering has pinpoint accuracy and it is beautifully weighted. There is lots of feedback over the steering wheel, allowing the driving force to feel at one while using car. Body roll is minimal and this series is quite composed via a series corners as a result of excellent degrees of traction, even without the benefit for all-wheel drive. Many versions feature drive performance control that allows the motive force to swap between driving modes on the touch of the button. The modes consists of Eco Pro, Comfort, Sport, having an extra level called Sport Plus is positioned on Sport and M Sport models. Here the motive force can vary parameters, for example steering weight, throttle response, gear change points on automatic models, plus the firmness from the adaptive suspension, where fitted. We highly recommend that before checking out buy a 3 Series, you sample versions with and minus the adaptive suspension option. It's a choice we would choose, adding an increased degree of comfort to your BMW's ride quality, but when you're predominantly driving on motorways, you could feel it's not really worth the additional outlay. Adjustable BMW M3 handling. The 3 Series' handling prowess bodes well with the M3, that's also undergone an 80 kg weight-saving program compared using its predecessor in an effort to finesse its handling, with extensive utilization of carbon fiber and aluminium. With each one of its electronic stability systems on, the M3 remains an appropriate yet devastatingly quick sports saloon, displaying agility more comparable to a two-seater roadster. Some might notice the sensation is sanitized in contrast to M3s of old. The steering wheel push into safe understeer if tight bends are tackled too soon, but switch off the traction control and yes, it's not a hindrance. Its balance is impeccable, allowing drivers who prefer make use of the throttle to assist steering angle with bottom movement to accomplish this, and you'll need sharp reflexes to assemble it all up again should you're too liberal inside your application with the accelerator pedal. Body roll is kept down even in comfort model, but selecting Sport or Sport Plus shortens the M3 to amount of being virtually roll less through corners. There resemble settings for your steering too, helping the weight however, not the feel while you progress through them. Largely we found keeping it in comfort was fine, the thick, padded tire rim like a delight to support and offering a reliable level of communication. Well made with high quality materials. Yet it doesn't impress such a C-Class cabin. Intuitive to make use of controls make life easy. BMW has bestowed a few series saloon with one from the most driver-focused cabins around, while using center console angled a lot more acutely towards the driving force than its predecessor was. It's intuitive to work with logically arranged, and pleasing make use of, switchgear, such as the iDrive multimedia controller using its rotary dial. Contemporary iDrive systems less complicated, easier to navigate than earlier versions introduced last 2002, with additional shortcut buttons throughout the central knob and logical menus displayed within the multimedia screen that stands proud on the dashboard. While the inside soft touch plastics are of the high quality, and also the dashboard's got a unique oblique styling theme for it, it somehow conspires never to feel as classy since the interiors with the Audi A4 and Mercedes-Benz C-Class do. There's a large palette of colors available for these series saloons' interior plastic moldings, including an assortment of trim appliques in wood, metal and textured plastics. Differences from the BMW M3 cabin. Save for a few M3 specific features such as seats, controls and automatic gear lever, you'd be hard-pressed to learn whether you were inside flagship sports model or even a lowly 316D. Yes, you may make it more special with BMW's exclusive package, however it should feel more special than less of 3 Series anyway. This though, is often a relatively minor criticism, as being the M3's cabin is really a refined and comforting devote which to go, especially due to the wide array of adjustment from your superb front seats, although we have now reservations in regards to the gouchness in the illuminated M badges for the seatbacks. 3 Series blend sportiness with comfort. Adaptive suspension option worth looking at. M3 is usable every single day without being too firm. On motorways specifically, the ride quality is very useful and road, wind and tire noise is minimal. Inevitably there's some engine noise, particularly under harder acceleration, through the diesels, while 318i petrols from your 2015 facelift employ a characteristic 3-cylinder thrum. The front seats are really comfortable, plus the side and lumbar support are perfect. There's an abundance of adjustment too, nevertheless the electrical versions permit you to hone your driving position with a lot more perfection. Move towards the rear seats and you'll find a good amount of space for 2 adults. In case space is the best primary requirement, then look at something more mainstream such being a Ford Mondeo, Skoda Superb or Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport. BMW M3 is comfortable and rapid. There's no escaping the M3 saloon's rapidity and numbers of driver engagement, but equally impressive are BMW M3 comfort levels. The secret would be the adaptive suspension dampers each and every corner. Sure, whenever you put it into Sport or Sport Plus modes, it sharpens considerably, using the latter setting making the ride particularly firm. However, in comfort mode you're unlikely for getting many complaints from the passengers. It's not really a comfort-oriented car though, is actually 19-inch alloy wheels shod in very slender yet wide rubber. You can find going to get odd jolts and noises but nothing particularly jarring. Depending on what engine mode you decide on, It may be quite soothing inside the cabin too, the 6-cylinder motor sounding almost subdued occasionally, should you want it to get, although tire or on the beefy rubber may be tiresome on motorway jaunts in case you drive devoid of the infotainment system fired up. Front seat occupants are very well catered for with superb seats offering support and grip without feeling much like your kidneys have already been pummeled from the long journey. Generous equipment levels along the range. M Sport will be the most desired. Be careful choosing options, the fee mounts quickly. Despite some experimental trim levels earlier within the 3 Series' life cycle with titles including modern and luxury, BMW finally settled down, which has a more familiar hierarchy outlined below. Standard BMW 3 Series saloon equipment. BMW 3 Series say. 1. The BMW clocked back several decades and say, for special equipment, models were more generously kitted out versions from the range. Nowadays it's the entry-level specification. 17-inch V-spoke alloy wheels. Cruise control with braking function. Electric windows and door mirrors. Automatic LED lights back and front. Automatic wipers. Matte black exterior detailing. Dual zone climate control. Multimedia system with sat-nav, DAB radio and Bluetooth connectivity. BMW 320d Efficient Dynamics Plus. A unique trim specific to your 320d Efficient Dynamics adds towards the sales kit roster with 16-inch V-spoke alloy wheels with low rolling resistance tires. Active air flaps behind the grille. Dakota leather upholstery. Heated front seats. BMW 3 Series Saloon Sport. Common to sport models are 17-inch double-spoke alloys. High-gloss black exterior detailing. Sport-specific instruments and tire. Sports front seats. Cloth upholstery, leather on 320d Efficient Dynamics. Drive performance control with Eco Pro, Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus modes. Switchable ambient lighting between white and orange. BMW 3 Series Saloon M Sport. The hottest trim level inside 3 Series range, in spite of the price hike from your say, adds this 18-inch M spoke alloy rims. M Sport specific bodykit. Stiffened suspension. Rear center armrest with cup holders. Dakota leather upholstery. Anthracite headlining. M Sport specific instruments and tire. BMW 3 Series M Sport Shadow Edition. Joining the number from summer 2017 would be the distinctive Shadow Edition version on the M Sport. It adds 19-inch M Sport double-spoke alloys. Dark and light lenses. Automatic main beam. Darkened rear glass. High-gloss black exterior detailing. Harman Kardon speaker system. BMW M3 specs. For the performance flagship, the M Sport trim would be the starting point, together with the M3 also gaining 19-inch M3 specific alloys. Active M differential. Adaptive M suspension. Carbon fiber reinforced plastic roof. Boot led spoiler. Extended merino leather. M3 specific instruments and tire. BMW M3 competition package. Topping the range could be the performance-focused competition package with the M3. 20-inch M3 star-spoke alloys. Competition-specific stiffened suspension. M Sports exhaust. Lighter weight front sports seats. BMW 3 Series Saloon, optional extras. Besides the most common extra cost options you'd expect to find like metallic paint, leather interiors and also a wide variety of alloy wheel designs, Many from the 3 Series Saloon's options happen to be bundled into packages representing better value for cash. Active Security Package, a safety pack comprising of lane change warning, electrically folding door mirrors and also the virtual cockpit described below. Advanced Parking Package, automatic self-parking using a reversing camera and all-round parking sensors. Innovation Package, many features bundled here including an upgraded sat-nav with online services, a head-up display function along with a Wi-Fi hotspot. Interior Comfort Package, a heated tire and front seats are joined using a sliding front armrest and split folding rear seats for more practicality. Professional Plus Medial Package, highly advanced rendering for the 3D sat-nav display associated with online services for constantly updated information. Virtual Cockpit, a 10.25-inch screen takes the sight of physical instruments using a design that varies depending about the drive mode selected. Strong safety record for the 3 Series. But it's an adult design than many rivals. Lots of safety kit remains optional. There's no doubting the inherent safety in the BMW 3 Series Saloon, however it's also worth noting that it is surely an aging design that gained its 5-star Euro NCAP crash test rating back 2012. That said, BMW can be an advanced engineering company and inside the years given it was introduced the 3 Series has been created available with much with the newer safety tech the firm has got. In addition on the usual raft of airbags and electronic stability software, all 3 Series saloons have full LED lights front and back that first turn on automatically, rain sensing windscreen wipers, rear parking sensors and run flat tires for really stability if your puncture occurs. Optional BMW 3 Series Saloon Safety Equipment. Naturally, extra safety machines are also available and you have to pay more for doing this. That means in the event you want desirable features, for example adaptive cruise control, it's one with the best, incidentally, automatic main beam, a head-up display function or possibly a digital instrumentation binnacle, you'll need to dig deep. Disappointingly, the driving assistant, a package that incorporates autonomous emergency braking, lane departure warning and preventive pedestrian protection, is also for the options list. How many ISOFIX points within the BMW 3 Series Saloon? ISOFIX child seat mounting points are located inside outer 2 positions in the rear bench seat, but because of the relatively compact dimensions in the 3 Series Saloon's interior, fitting an adult inside the center position afterwards will prove uncomfortable. Watch BMW 3 Series Euro NCAP crash test video. Compact 4-door cars are not the last word in automotive practicality. Along with the BMW 3 Series Saloon doesn't alter this mindset. Strictly speaking, you'll find 5 seatbelts, but 4 adults will travel far more comfortably inside car than if there's one more passenger sat inside middle in the rear bench. Regardless, those inside back tight on space to luxuriate in versus the pair in the beginning. Storage for assorted items is sufficient instead of generous, with decently proportioned door bins, glove box and cup holders. If you're progressing with the 3 Series Saloon from a mainstream hatchback, it shouldn't end up being too daunting a proposition. All versions consist of rear parking sensors as standard, helping judge the otherwise hidden rear end on the car, although you'll pay extra for the set on the front and reversing or 360-degree cameras. Size-wise it's relatively dainty, so locating a supermarket parking space or slotting it for your garage shouldn't prove too tricky. Outright practicality is not commonly a primary concern for buyers of 4-door cars, as demonstrated because of the BMW 3 Series Saloon's stubby boot lid, which has a correspondingly small opening. The firm's argument is that in the event you need extra flexibility, then your hatchback 3 Series Gran Turismo and Estate 3 Series Touring are made available. You can boost the capacity with the 480-litre boot by opting for your split folding rear seats. Then again, you must factor from the cost of another extra